So the question always comes up, when do I need to add my teenager to my auto policy? They've got their learner's permit, they're starting to drive. Do I need to add them then? Or do I need to wait until they get their license? I'm not sure, but I want to know if they're driving my car, they're gonna be protected and insured. Because teenagers never really cause accidents, right? Here in the state of Utah, you do not need to add your teenage driver to your auto insurance policy until they actually get their driver's license. So that's pretty cool because at age 15, they can actually get a learner's permit and they can learn all about safety and driving careful and not wrecking your car and all that kind of good stuff, right? And not necessarily be on the insurance. You do not need to add them to your policy while they have a learner's permit. But once they get their license, you do need to add them to your auto insurance policy. Now, be prepared, and I always tell people this, be prepared because it's gonna cost you some money, right? Research and studies have shown that teenage drivers cause accidents. I don't know if you believe that or not, but they do. And so what we've done is we put together 5 tips or ideas or suggestions to help you kind of minimize that impact on your premium, right? Here's 5 ways to save money on your auto insurance premium when you add a teenage driver or a newly licensed driver. Okay, the first thing is make sure that they take an approved driver's education class. Now, here in Utah, most students can actually take that as part of their school curriculum, which is pretty cool. Easy A, actually, I think, if they pay attention and do well in the class. So most kids love that, and they can take that part of school. But take an approved driver safety course. Aside from that, a lot of insurance carriers offer a teen driver safety program. It's usually an online course where you can pay $100 or something. You can take the class, and once they pass that, it entitles them to get a discount on their auto insurance policy. So highly recommend that when you're looking at auto insurance policies. The second thing that I would tell you to do is make sure you give your child plenty of time to study. And not just study the driver's education stuff, but just study in school, right? Because all insurance carriers give a discount for a good student. They usually say it's a B average or above, or a 3.0 and above. But if your child has that, they qualify for a good student discount, and that's significant. It's huge. Makes a big, big impact on that. So, as a side note, I always tell people that if you want us to have a one-on-one with your son or daughter, or if you want to bring them in the office and have a talk about insurance, sometimes they listen to us more than they listen to their parents. I don't know why, but the guy in like the suit and the tie and all that kind of stuff in the office maybe has more of an impact than mom and dad who talk to him all the time, right? So happy to talk to your child about insurance and help them understand what they can do to help minimize the cost of that. Okay, number 3, sorry to get sidetracked. Look at the type of vehicle that your child's gonna be driving. Depending on the number of licensed drivers you have in the household and depending on the number of vehicles, they're either going to be listed as a primary driver or an occasional driver on a car. Now, we all know that a 16-year-old with a brand new car, brand new expensive car, is going to cost a lot more than a 16-year-old newly licensed with, say, like a 1992 Honda Civic, right? Not saying you got to get an old Civic, but think about the type of car that you're going to be getting for your child, and that may have a drastic impact on the type of insurance that you have. Okay, number 4, this is a big one, and this is something that absolutely your newly licensed driver can control, and that is maintaining a clean driving record. The biggest rating factor for a newly licensed person is what is their driving record. And so if they get into an accident that's their fault, or if they get a ticket obviously it's their fault, you're gonna see a big bump in their rate. And that's just kind of how it is because they have control over those type of things. Obey the traffic laws, don't speed, all that kind of stuff. Don't get tickets, don't cause accidents. It's gonna help you save money on your premiums. And then the last thing that we're gonna discuss is using an independent agent to shop for your insurance policy. And that's where we come in. This is a shameful plug for us, but not just us, but any insurance agency out there. When you work with an independent agent, they have options. They have multiple carriers that they can shop with, and so they can take your family profile and shop that around with different carriers to find the best fit. Now at our agency, we always tout coverage first, price second. Price is really important, but it's not important enough to sacrifice the right coverages. So we want to make sure your family's protected. We want to make sure that if something goes wrong, that you've got the coverage that you need to make it right. And then we want to make sure that you're getting the very best price that we can, or the best value for your insurance dollars. So there you go. There's the top 5 tips. If you would like us to sit down and talk to your newly licensed driver, we'd be happy to do that. If you'd like us to help maybe explain the auto policy or explain some of the things that they can do to help save some money on their policy, certainly let us do that. And lastly, if you want us to help just review your insurance policy itself, shop it around and see if we can find the best carrier to fit your needs, again, we'd love to do that. You know how to get in touch with us. We appreciate you tuning into this tip. Have a great day.